Yes, the summer that just won't stop, the hottest summer on record for us, and we've got more of that for you again today. Heat advisory is back in effect for the entire area. It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. Here's a look at temperatures all across the south. Texas getting the worst of it again in the 100s, but we could even see a few 100s up towards Baton Rouge and Macomb today. I'm forecasting 97 around the southeast Louisiana area. As we go through the day, rain chances are low this morning. They will ramp up though this afternoon, so we might be lucky enough to get some scattered storms in here late afternoon, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Some storms popping up, and then we could see a few of those storms linger into the evening hours as well. Radar clean sweep this morning, nothing to worry about for the morning drive. If you're getting out on the water, nothing to worry about either. There's no coastal showers. Here we go as we go through the day. There we are, 2, 3 o'clock. A few thunderstorms popping up on the map. As we go through the afternoon and evening, still have some thunderstorms around. Weak cold front entering the picture, and that will slowly make its way through the area the next 24 to 36 hours. If you get a thunderstorm today, gusty winds would be the primary concern, along with locally heavy rain. So we'll need to keep an eye on any of these trying to get on the strong side. They could produce some winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. This is tomorrow. Notice as we get into the afternoon, scattered storms most likely south of the lake on your Friday afternoon and continuing down near the coast into Friday evening. And then we finally get some nicer, drier air in here. Now, while this is a cool front coming in, it's not going to really bring any chilly temperatures or any colder temperatures, but it will bring that drier air coming on in through the weekend. So Saturday into Sunday feeling nicer. Still hot in the 90s, but with lower humidity, the mornings will feel a lot nicer. So for that tailgating, whether you're tailgating Saturday or Sunday early for the Saints game, it is looking quite nice compared to what we've been dealing with. Out in the tropics, still nothing to worry about for us in the Gulf. It looks like the Gulf is going to stay quiet. Caribbean staying quiet, but Hurricane Lee is expected to continue to grow. It is a hurricane this morning. It's probably going to rapidly intensify over the next couple of days. The current track, no big changes in thinking here, which is good news for the Caribbean islands. From the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico to the Virgin Islands, you could see the core of that massive hurricane staying to the north there. Now, it will send large swells and waves, but missing the worst of the winds and surge. Notice near Category 5 strength. They're forecasting right on the cusp of a Cat 5 by Saturday and Sunday, and then it begins to slow down some into early next week. Now, this part of the forecast we're fairly confident in. It's the end here. Once we get into Tuesday, it slows down, and then that's when we're expecting that turn. But where does the turn happen? Does it come closer to the Turks and Caicos, or does it take the more northerly pack and maybe make a beeline for the island nation of Bermuda? So here's what we're going to be watching. It's right around the ridge of high pressure for now. That's why the confidence is high in the forecast. But once we get into next week, we're talking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, begins to slow down and then make that turn. Now, where that turn happens and how strong the ridge of high pressure is, how strong that trough of low pressure is to the over the East Coast is going to determine where it tracks once it starts to make that northerly turn. You can see our models are widespread over the next 7 to 10 days. This isn't this weekend, but next weekend could have a storm somewhere in this part of the Atlantic, maybe moving to the north. So that's why we're still saying New England. Portions of the Canadian Maritimes need to be keeping an eye on this. Hopefully it threads in between these two features and stays out to sea, but that is still not a guarantee. Remember, that's 7 to 10 days away. There are still quite a bit of uncertainties in a forecast that far out. So here's what I'm doing. If I live in the Turks and Caicos or southern Bahamas, I'm still keeping an eye on this. With that slowing down and turning, you got to make sure it turns just right to miss you. Bermuda, certainly keeping an eye on this, and then anywhere up the East Coast, mainly the northern East Coast and especially New England and parts of Canada. Once you get up towards the Canadian Maritimes, really keeping an eye on this in the next 7 to 10 days. And fortunately, that is a long time when you're looking at a tropical feature, so you have plenty of time to watch it, but there is still quite a bit of uncertainty there. Once again, not an issue for the Gulf of Mexico. There's our 7-day forecast. Going to be hot and humid today with scattered storms late afternoon and evening. Same thing tomorrow, scattered storms possible south of the lake, and then it's looking less humid for the weekend, and Saint Sunday not looking too bad. Here's your marine forecast. Winds starting to switch out of the southwest today, and then tomorrow we'll have winds out of the north, staying out of the north heading into the weekend.